Well, hello, Virgo. Thanks for stopping by. This is the reading for the next 2 weeks. Also looking at picking up those energies coming in where we are right now, Virgo. And what has happened in the last couple of weeks? What can we use from that? So, of course, this is for Virgo. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. It is timeless, even though I say 2 weeks, because I don't put a date on it. It's going to find you when you need to hear it, or maybe it might benefit someone you know. So timeless because we remember the past, but we need to plan for the future and use both of those energies to live in the now, right? This is always for our highest good. And we draw in the information from the original source, the original thought, and the original word. We look toward the Akash for help with maybe breaking down some of the information, and interpretively, we are also asking all benevolent energies, entities, and beings in all dimensions to help with clarity. Alrighty, thanks so much again for stopping by, Virgo. Let's see what else we can find out that is going to be, because 2 weeks, it can be a lot of stuff going on in 2 weeks. So we can look at what has transpired that we need to hang on to. And it's also about what do we need to let go of that's transpired in the last 2 weeks, right? Because sometimes that stuff, it just kind of hangs around and we need to get rid of it. So that sometimes can be helpful to figure out as well. All right, so 3 of Pentacles. Well, we've been busy, hard at work. There have been some collaborative projects. There's been some coming and some going. There's been some studiousness for some reason. Mapping, something to do with being involved with maps, mapping, cartography, studying maps even. And Knight of Swords. So there's been some hasty decisions. And I noticed the other day, I think I have the unique card here because there's a bizarre stain on this. And it looks like this Knight of Swords was so hasty in their travels that they lost their prey. Oops. So that's maybe, we can get distracted if we get too busy. And it can cost us some of our resources. Oh, yeah. We're going to be looking at the 10 of Swords. So it was not fun the last couple of weeks. A lot of us have had challenging things. Coming in right now is the King of Swords. So it sounds like as a result of this, there's been some mastery attained. Yeah, that was it. There's just been some mastery that we've been cultivating. Hang on, I'm going to take a sip of my ice water. Okay, that was a gulp. I'm not going to be shy on that. In the past, we have to pull forward and make sure that we are not going to be bringing with it some of the dregs, right? Let's not bring forward the dregs, because sometimes we can find ourselves not even really... Virgo, I know it's like perfectionism. I have a lot of Virgo in my chart, so there's a lot of perfectionism, hyper critical of ourselves, maybe even, there's no maybe about it. There's self-deprecation in there for sure, beating ourselves up. And someone can say something to us and it will really sting or hurt or, shake us up. That's something that can be very, very rattling. Yeah? Very rattling. Let's see what comes of this. Yeah. Yeah, we're like 5 of Pentacles and looking for that blessing. We haven't lost anything, but we seem to be stressed about trying to find it. And, I think it's not out of reach. It's just realizing that it's there. And I don't know if this has something to do with someone else's greed wow, this is so weird. Because I do a good job shuffling before and after. And I did a whole lot of shuffling, and I'm coming up with a lot of the same cards. Knight of Swords. So again, this is a card of haste. This Let's not bring this forward. So this guy is on the move. So what we need to be more embodying of is this Knight of Swords, where the winds are blowing by. The winds are blowing by this guy, but, you know, he's just hanging out, man. He is well seated. This guy here, not so much. On the fly, on the road, and whoops, dropped the dinner. Wow, a lot of sword energy here. Trying to figure out. Self-deprecation here. It's 8 of Swords. But you know what? This is her back. So what this is saying is that in the future, we might have these feelings of inadequacy pop up. But if you look at... Sorry, it's twitchy. If you look at her hands are tied behind her back, she has that sword right in the middle. All she has to do is slow down, Knight of Swords. Slow down, all right? And the reason you're feeling like you can't really have your full reach is because you're going to feel tied. In the future, you're going to feel tied, but what you need to remember is you have the skills and the tools to release yourself from this self-imposed restriction. 9 of Wands. Yeah, we're that wounded warrior, and dang, how can we get out of this self-deprecation thing? Because that's what it feels like. Whoa. Yeah. We might be a little bit too much into ourselves. Right? Let's not do that, Virgo. Please and thank you. This is very different. This is like completely different from all of the other readings I've done so far today. And yeah, it has it's like this big shift, right? Right. So we need some additional input, please, to all of these energies, entities, beings that are benevolent to us. And when I say those things, you can categorize who you want in there, whether they're family or angels or, other types of beings, animals, whatever you feel like. I have a whole deck upside down. So you have the whole kit and caboodle included, right? Yeah, I'm really kind of wondering how these are coming out with this very similar. It's like, are you kidding me? How can this be the same, right? Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Pretty random stuff. Pretty random stuff. So let's see what else is on the plate. We need to shake this. I mean, this whole thing. We need to shake this. It's not heavy. It's just we're in our head or something, and we don't. It's like we're not seeing our divinity or something. That's it. That's what I'm told. That's it. We've lost sight of our divinity, and maybe our divinity as well. Look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about, right? We're in a regeneration process, and that's where the self-deprecation is coming from. Because right now we're only seeing the fire and the pain, and we're not really realizing that this tree is reaching for this bright starlet, and the stars are reaching for us. This is a regeneration process, and a lot of times we'll put ourselves in positions where we knew we were supposed to be moving on, but we kind of dragged our feet because, it's the devil sort of thing. And it's going to take more time for us to regenerate. Yeah, we're going to feel like sequestering because of the injury, whatever that may be. It does not feel like finances. It doesn't even look like finances. This may be, it's not work related. It's got to be something in our head. It might be home because it says no place like home. And there are going to be secret messages, messages in a bottle, message in a bottle. So we have to listen to that still small voice. So there's a regeneration at home, and that's where we're going to be receiving that important information. This is where we're going to receive, whether it's something you're watching, someone that lives in the house with you, whether it's a pet, could be somebody dropping something off at your home. Oh my gosh. Clean it up. Clean it up. Oh, clean it up. The sun's out, so it's really hard to see stuff. Right, let me see if I can't tone down this light, man. And you know what? The best one to do. Probably heard that. Me just pushing the curtain aside. Doesn't work the best, but that kind of toned it down a little bit. And I have an overhead light that I can turn off. Because it makes it's like it was really hard to see. I mean, to me it looks really dark in here, but I look at that board, there's something about this cloth that just goes bang, and it reflects a lot of light. Even when I had it covered, it's reflecting a lot of light. But anyway, so clean it up, regenerating, and it looks like we're going to be regenerating at home, and it's going to be helpful. And it's part of a cycle, I think, that we're trying to break. And this is where we're going to get our information from. One of the ways we're going to be able to do that is by cleaning it up. Spend that time. Spend that time at home. Wow. Cleaning it up. No place like home. And that's where we're going to get those messages from. We're going to get the messages there, right? Wow, pretty cool stuff, man. All right, so what else? What else can we hear that will be helpful for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus? From all that, I mean, it feels like it was a new stream of supporters coming in, and that it's quite a large group. And it's like they're just now getting settled. I don't know, it's just kind of weird. Yeah, they're just getting settled. It's a more mature group, but it's a fun group. All right. We need a little humor. We've had it kind of rough, Virgo, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, we're dealing with some demons. We're dealing with some goblins. We're gonna smoke them out. We're gonna smoke them bad boys out. Okay? Right down here. We need to get ready to smoke them out. Oh my goodness, home. Home is where we're gonna find this. Home is where we're gonna find where we need to clean things up to deal with those goblins in our life. Not demons, goblins. Some of it is going to come through our dreams, and it's going to feel timeless when we're at home. And I've noticed this recently too. This is moonlight. I've noticed that when I am at my day job, time seems to move really quick. When I get home, it moves slower, and I seem to be getting a lot more things done than I used to when I get home. I still feel like, the faster you go, the behinder you get, but... And again, this is like a shuffle, 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 shuffle. And I'm getting a lot of the same cards. This is intention. We have to set that intention when we're in this kind of meditative state. When we're at home. And we're going to find this golden palace. This is our home. And it's not something that's a physical place. Unless you're someone who does actually have one. that is a golden palace. I know that there's an esoteric meaning to that. And this is where we're going to learn how to go with the flow and let go. Right? Ride with the wave. Ride the wave. Ride the tide as well. That's a little more gentle. The wave is something that can feel kind of... It's going to pull us out of rock bottom. It's going to pull us out of that doldrum mindset. And again, this is that still small voice. When we were listening for that message in a bottle, still small voice, yeah. And it's going to start when we reconnect to our home life. Yeah, we're going to get better direction, full. It's the full Monty, man. We're going to be able to get our bearings when we're going through this. So this is about trying to stay focused without getting too much in your head. And this feels like a very spiritual journey right now for Virgo. What can we learn about ourselves from the last 2 weeks and stay at home? This is like the opposite of a couple of readings ago that I did that was not on Virgo, but it was like get out, have fun. This is getting comfortable with yourself, whether you have someone in the house or not. You know, you can be at home with someone and there's no dialogue or anything going on. But as long as you get comfortable with listening and setting that intention every day, whether you write it down, say it out loud, whatever your ritual is. I just saw that. That's universal love. The frequency of universal love activates the connection we feel to each other and our planet and the whole of existence itself. So again, I said this was a very esoteric trip. Last 2 weeks and the upcoming 2 weeks, this is how we can prepare for it. It's being kind to yourself. And remember to apply that universal love. It's not just for the love of others, it's the love of self. So we need to take care of ourselves first. Self-care is going to be paramount for us, Virgo. We have to really be listening. We have to put our spiritual ears on. And, you know, this is music. So maybe listening to music might be helpful, right? I know I don't listen to music like, you know, big tiny music that you'd hear at a concert. I like frequency sounds and music. So that's kind of where I get my support from when I listen. It's very helpful too. Fall asleep, that sort of thing. All right, so this popped up and, you know, face up. So I'm going to do these first. So this is the frequency of the throat chakra. The blue flower of life supports our self-expression and our sense of peace and balance. So, this is like not only just the listening side, but when you have that throat chakra that's not too open and not too closed, we will know when we need to speak the message and when we need to listen for the message. We do that with physical activity and restoration. So when we're cleaning up, you know, if you've ever done a restoration project on your home or your apartment or flat, when you get it all done, it doesn't feel right until you have everything cleaned up. You need to clean up the debris, the tape, the dust that was created by maybe some of the construction. So that's part of it. We're going to know when when we're supposed to clean it up. Authority. The frequency of authority reminds us that true authority is powerful, directed, and realized, yet receptive, wise, and loving. So again, we have the authority with our throat chakra and our wisdom as knowing when to listen and when to speak. We have that authority and we command ourselves. So with this universal love, we take everybody into consideration. And sometimes it can be very challenging not to say something when we feel like we have something important to say to someone else, but we have to let others speak. And sometimes that can be challenging. This is magic. All right. So the frequency of magic supports our intrinsic ability to grow and expand beyond this moment, to move toward possibilities and expressions that are as grand and profound as we can imagine. One of the ways that we can create that magic and utilize that imagination is by cleaning up. All right, and then all that is required is our belief in their manifestations. Belief, knowing, what's the word that I heard? There is definitely a knowing to this. It's not just a belief. And I can't say not just, because belief systems can make us or break us. That was it. Wow, Virgo, pretty intense stuff. Well, I hope it was helpful. If you could please and thank you, like, share, and subscribe. That would be awesome. Drop me a line if you have any questions. Feel free to send me an email. All the contact information is below. And I will see you on the flip side. Bye.